Give Washington credit. I think they're a really, really good team with two of the better guards that, I think we'll face. I think Sellers, ton of respect for Sellers and what she can do in terms of just obviously scoring, but then 8 assists, 1 turnover, really just sets the table, makes everyone else better. So they're a hard guard, with how they spread the floor. And we knew that coming in. We talked a lot about offensive rebounding. We knew that they really thrive and generate a ton of offense through offensive rebounding. And we didn't do a good enough job taking that away. That's where they got a lot of their spray out threes. We also said coming in, we wanted to hold them to 6 threes or less. They end up getting 11. So basically, just to sum, I'm proud of how we fought. I'm proud of how we were right in the game and didn't necessarily play well. And we have to be better, and these guys know it. In our scout defense and just executing keys to the game, because when you get into conference, the little details matter, and we did not do a good job today of doing those little things, and Washington made us pay. So really it's a 2-possession game the whole way till the very end. We're right in it, but we got to clean that up. We got to be better. We will be better because of it, and we move on and we continue to work.
For either one of the players, just maybe what didn't work between the scout and practice, what's been obviously in other games this season's worked for you guys?
I mean, it's nothing that really didn't work. It's just that we didn't apply it. We're perfectly capable of doing everything that we said in scout. We didn't execute it on the court very well. But like Coach said, I think it was really just like our ball screen coverage. Like, we were good in spurts, but we have to be able to sustain that for full 40 because players like Sellers and some of them better guards that we're going to play in the future will take advantage of those slip ups when we're not, high enough, or a guard gets hit too hard, that kind of thing. So I think we just have to be able to apply what we are doing the whole, couple days before.
I guess for either of you, is there maybe some solace to take away from this, granted, or given that Washington shot the ball as well as they did? Like, maybe if you went up against a different team, this would have been a different result?
I feel like that's the Big Ten, though. Like, everyone has their strengths, and you just got to be good at taking away their strengths. And I feel like we just didn't do a good job of that today. But, it's always a learning opportunity, just getting better and applying scout and getting back to work.
Jen, I guess for you, just to get going like you did, what was kind of working for you, and what'd you kind of see that got you going tonight?
I just, whatever the team needs. Like, I'm just trying to do whatever we can to win. So if that's scoring one night, really assisting, playing defense, or whatever the case may be, like, just trying to do what the team needs. So I don't even think it's something that I had. I go into every game mentally trying to score and try to dominate. So just give them what they give me.
This one for either of you, just the 3-ball kind of on both sides didn't quite fall for you guys today, and then they were obviously shooting at a high level. What were they doing maybe defensively that gave you guys a little bit of trouble, not falling to the level you guys want, and then offensively to create that extra space that they had?
I feel like we just have to defend it better. I feel like they got too many open threes in transition. I feel like, as sometimes we as bigs didn't fly out at them like we should have in rotation. But I really feel like they got a lot of just wide open ones in transition, or when we were in rotations and stuff. So I think it all starts with ball screen coverage and stuff for both guards and bigs. We have to be better in that, and that eliminates the rotation. But I think for us, we have elite shooters in this program, and I just think we need to get some more reps up with them. But anytime the pass goes to Jen or Bryn, I trust that it's going in. They're elite shooters, so we'll get back to it. We'll get in the gym, work on them. But overall, I trust both of them to shoot it.
I'm curious what kind of a boost you guys got from the crowd today. When you guys cut it to 2 there in the fourth quarter, it seemed like they were into it. It seemed like you guys were feeding off of that.
Yeah, we definitely feed off the crowd. It's nice to have, especially over Christmas break, we usually don't have, a ton of people. Students are gone, people are traveling. So it's been really nice the last couple games to have, the crowds that we've had, the kids that have been here. We had a band today, which was nice. So it definitely feeds us, gives us a little bit of energy.
Both of you played 40 minutes today. I guess with how short the bench is lately, what kind of strength does that take mentally, not just physically, for you to play 40 minutes?
When you're in the Big Ten, it's physical, it's fast paced. So I think just trusting your training. We work hard in the summer, in the off season, the preseason. So we prepare for this. So it's not nothing that we didn't, it's surprising us. I know a short bench, sometimes you can't control things, but just controlling what we can control, trying to play as hard as we can for as long as we can, and yeah, just doing whatever it takes to get the win.
For KB, obviously, Coach kind of mentioned, but offensive boards is one of their strengths. What are they able to maybe do to get those offensive rebounds, or what you kind of maybe see from them?
I'm going to go back to ball screen coverage again. I feel like that we were, the bigs weren't as high as we were supposed to be, or the guards got kind of clipped and it was late. And so both their bigs dive super hard. And that was something we had talked about all week. And so when they dive super hard, and we have to kind of guard the guard, it puts us in bad rebounding position because they have that inside positioning. So I feel like a lot of them came when we were in rotations and when we had, our guards or no one even coming down to rotate. Like there was one that I missed I should have rotated down on. But I think like a lot of them were just on those because I think, when we're told to box out, I feel like we do a pretty decent job of boxing out. But I feel like we were just all scrambled today and then like, a box out here is missed and then that girl would get it and they'd get a kick out 3. And so everything just kind of like connects to one another.
I just want to ask you guys, this can be for either one of you again. When it comes to just the quality of the Big Ten this year, I think you're starting to see early on these first 2 games, obviously Ohio State to start the year, and people probably see you guys on their schedule the same way. What about the Big Ten this year? Really, it seems like the level has been raised across the board for every team, and what the challenge that presents for you guys, but helping you guys get ready as this season continues to go on.
I mean, I think, the Big Ten's a great league. We all knew that coming in here. It's, I think, the best league in the country. But every team brings something different. It's not a league, where we have a bunch of shooters. I mean, you have shooters, you have drivers, you have big bigs, you have small bigs, you have, 6'4" people that are shooting threes and driving. I mean, you have so many different things that you have to prepare for. And so, I mean, adding, Oregon, Washington, UCLA, USC, like all those teams, I feel like it just kind of raised the level for everyone else. Like everyone knows, like, the Big Ten's really good now. And so I feel like when these other schools kind of see the Big Ten coming, it's kind of cool because they're like, oh, like Big Ten. But yeah, I mean, I think the Big Ten's kind of at its best it's ever been. And I mean, there's no off game. We talk about that a lot. There used to be games every now and then you could kind of be like, okay, like, we're going to win. But I mean, there's none of that anymore. I mean, every team, wants to beat the next team and every team is perfectly capable of beating everybody.
Thanks. Enjoy your day off. Thanks, you too.
I guess same question for you. When your opponent's shooting 11 of 20 from 3, I mean, how much can you do to control the outcome of a game?
We knew that they're a good shooting team, but they also, just the pace of their offense, and they're all capable. So I said that coming in, they spread you. They are relentless in their ball screens. They continue to screen, rescreen, screen again. So they're always getting you. And Sellers is so good at probing and getting, kind of drawing in whatever ball screen coverage you're in and then picking everyone apart. They move the ball well. They're just a really efficient offensive team that rely heavily on the assists. So they get you moving, they get you scrambling, and that leads to open inside-out threes. And it also leads to some of those rebounds where we're, in rotation, we don't get bodies on people, and then those led to kick-out threes.
You referenced it, but just maybe the disconnect between the scout and the game itself. What maybe do you look to work on moving forward from that, or what you kind of maybe see that led to that disconnect?
You got to give credit to Washington because how their offense flows and runs, it's really hard to simulate that. I'm really impressed with them. Even coming in, watching film on them, I was obviously, you always think, okay, well, what do you worry about? How can they beat you? And those 2 guards are really, really good. And then they have pieces around them. And just like I said, the pace of which they run their offense is challenging. And then they have, those 2 bigs that really dive hard and do a good job around the rim. So I think it was more so like some of that as opposed to even like, they get you moving really, really quickly. No offense to our scout team right now because we don't even have our regular scout team here. We got our coaches and they don't move that fast. So, again, I appreciate them being willing to go out there and do it, but it's hard. It's hard to simulate it.
Coach, you're probably tired of us asking you about injuries, but Gretchen played last game. Did she get banged up in that last game? And while I'm asking you, I'll ask you about Makaira too. Do you have any timeline for her return?
Yeah, neither of them I really have any further information on. So sorry, I know you guys want more. I apologize.
I just wanted to ask you kind of about the teams that, because you played the former big Pac-12 teams coming in back-to-back games now. Have you noticed that there's anything similar in what they're bringing to Big Ten action being new, or this might just have a no answer, but?
Yeah, I mean, I thought Oregon was totally different than Washington. You know, Oregon, how they want to score was, I mean, they were more set driven. They were more, they wanted to get the ball inside. Again, Washington, now they're totally opposite offensively and how they're very free flowing and they run a lot of chin action. Princeton, I mean, so it's really hard to guard. So in terms of my first experience with those two teams, they were very different. We'll see as we go on.
Seems like Corey I know she's a favorite on your team and in your locker room, but even a fan favorite. What is it about the way she plays or her personality that it seems like, to put it bluntly, people like her?
Yeah, no, she just has that personality and that, you know, really good spirit to her. She said she's one of the best recruiters on our team. She's just, people are drawn to her, and I want her to continue to carry that personality over onto the floor. And I think she's really progressing, you know, and she's going to get a lot more opportunity now with the injuries, but she's taken advantage of it. I know we need to get her scoring more, but I really think her defense is much improved. You know, in her rebounding, she flies in there and gets rebounds. We just got to get her to, you know, to finish some of those and score a little bit more. But I told our team, you know, we can't just rely on Jen and KB every night to score 20-some points a game. We got to have everyone step up. And whether that's even just, you know, someone scoring 8 points or 6 points, like everyone has to kind of raise their game up. The numbers are the numbers. You know, we can sit here and feel sorry for ourselves, or we can just have everyone take advantage of an opportunity that they're given. And that's where I'm telling them, we got to take advantage of this, and you may get a opportunity that maybe get more opportunity than what you maybe thought you would. Well, what are you going to do with it? And this is an opportunity as opposed to anything else.
It's one thing for, you know, Jen and KB to know that they're going to play 40 minutes, but what does that process look like for them, you know, to be able to actually do that in a game consistently, knowing what you got with injuries?
Yeah, I mean, I flat out told them you're gonna, unless foul trouble, they're gonna be on the court, right? And KB's used to it. KB's really played 40 minutes probably her whole career. Jen and Makaira played pretty much, as you remember our first year, they played 40 minutes pretty much, and really they did last year a lot too. So the thing that, you know, with Jen is that she's used to having that other point guard, and that's where I'm gonna have to do a better job of getting Jazz more reps, and Corey's gonna have to play some point, getting them more. So now Jen's not always the one as the main ball handler. And especially, I could have done a better job of that tonight against a team that doesn't press us. I should have done a better job of that. We did it at times where we run certain things when Jen's not at the point, because we need her coming off screens and all that. So it's just, you know, it is very different. And again, I got to be better at figuring it out, because those two played so well together. And they could kind of go back and forth. And then we'd run a lot of stuff to Jen when Makaira was at the point, and vice versa. So I got to continue to be better with that.
Maybe more of a midweek question, so I apologize if it's not the place, but you welcomed Erica to Champaign. I guess, how important is it to get her here early and just get her in practice?
Yeah, I'm super excited to have her here. She came yesterday, and you know, I think it's going to be great for her to, you know, hopefully we can get her in practice. I think with the new year, you know, maybe next couple days, she'll be able to actually practice. And I think that's going to really help us. It'll be another body for practice, which is great. And obviously help her development going into next year, when, you know, next year we're going to have a lot of new faces. And that's someone that now she's able to go through a Big Ten season, you know, really a whole season, and learn and understand, you know, even today, she's probably like, what the heck's going on, right? Like, she has no idea. She comes in, and then, you know, and first time hearing me and halftime, or me and after a loss, like, she may think I'm crazy and may leave, but I'm just so excited to have her here, and I'm super excited to see where she's going to, what she's going to become and the type of player she's going to become. She's a competitor. She's a gym rat. And those are the people that do well with our program and to be honest, do well with me. I want people that love this game, and I don't have time if you don't really love it and have a passion for it. I don't have time for that BS. Like, you got to have a great drive in you, and Erica has that. So I'm super pumped. And then we also get, Cece, who's going to be here, another early enroll kid. Then she'll be here in a couple weeks. So I think that's huge going into next year with so many new kids.
Now, Coach, with it being kind of the final day, final game of the year before 2025, do you have a New Year's resolution for the team entering that new year?
I don't believe in them. Good question. I'm just ending the year in a bad mood. That's what I'm doing because we lost. So it's not going to be a fun New Year's Eve for me. But you know what? I guess it's a new year tomorrow, right? So it's time to be positive and to just start fresh. And that's what I'm going to try to do. I just really... I've said this, and it's hard. It's been hard. Last year was hard in its own way. Every year is hard as a coach. This year's been a little bit more frustrating just in terms of so many things out of our control. But I also had to practice what I preach because I tell our kids you can only control the controllables. And I told them in the locker room, we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep getting better. It's what we do. It's who we are. And that's the only way. You can't get too high. You can't get too low in this league. Or it's a rat race, right? There's too many good teams. So, I'll take tonight to be miserable. And then tomorrow it's new and start preparing from Minnesota and go and playing another 12-1 team on the road. So life in the Big Ten, but so I appreciate you guys and Happy New Year and thanks for being here. I know there's some football game on right now that you probably wanted me to just shut up so you can go watch the game. So I will do that. Appreciate you guys.